being live streamed by the county channel. Has there been anybody that's submitted for public comments?
Let me check. Can you all hear us?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Have you had any public comments?
No, sir.
In attendance today, we have myself, Dick Geyer, Chair, Earl Campbell, Dr. Gauze, and is Dr. Wisniewski on?
No.
Okay. Well, we have a quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and
and to
to
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Motion made by Mr. Campbell. Do I have a second?
Yes, Dr. Watts.
Seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We don't have public comments. The next item is approval of the June 9th, 2022 committee meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? I hear from Mr. Campbell. Do I have a second?
Watts.
Mr. Claus, seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. First item of business is the monthly $100,000 report. We have a very good consolidated report as well as the total report. And are there any questions on the $100,000 report?
I just wanted to make, this is Tanya Crosby. I wanted to make one comment. This report is from May. So we did not have a meeting in the month of July for the Finance Committee. And so we're a little off cycle. So next month I'll be bringing the months of June and July reports to get us all caught up. So I just want to mention that today.
I would like a little explanation. I should know the answer to this because I'm on the ACE board, but it shows a $3,619.92 reduction, reduced services provided. And I saw that in the big list as well. What was that for?
That reduction was I believe that was the food service. So we had fewer food service meals prepared or claimed by students during that period of time. And so they have a credit, and so that they owe the district back money, but we reconciled at the end of the year.
Okay. All right. That answers that. Other than that, I went line by line and looked at everything, and everything seems to be in order. Is there any other discussion? Is there a motion to recommend or recommend? Oh, we have Dr. Claus.
Okay, this is a really dumb question, but is the TY and the LY this year and last year?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I thought, but
I go with CY for current year.
Yeah.
But yes, TY
Okay.
is
yeah, this year and last year. Thank you. I'll move that we
question.
accept the $100,000 report for that the Finance Committee accepts it, and we'll bring it forward to the
Consent agenda.
consent agenda at the next board meeting. And this report is for May of 2022.
Yes. And a second?
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nothing heard. Motion passes. Okay. Next one is the board monthly budget report. And I don't see we spent much money, which is a good thing.
Just getting started.
Yeah. And I noticed that we paid $50,000 is our dues for the School Board Association, $50,400. But that is the only major expenditure, and the meeting stipends are all well within the budget range. So I didn't see anything on that. Is there any other items to be brought up about the monthly board budget report?
I concur with you, Mr. Geyer, Colonel Geyer. I mean, it's the first month really of the 12 months, so there's not much there.
Do I hear a motion to recommend or to place this on the agenda in the consent agenda?
So moved.
The next meeting?
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the monthly transparency report is the next item.
It's not a document that's in the folder.
It's not a folder.
And we have to go on the website
Okay.
because of the size
It's
of it.
95 pages long.
95 pages
Yeah,
long.
so we don't.
Is there anything in there that is unusual or anything that you are concerned about?
No, sir, there are standard purchases in that report. Both May and June are out on the website, so they are available for viewing to our community. But they are basically standard purchases. Those are nearing, since they're in May, they're right at the end of the previous school year.
Right. This is the end of year kind of spending.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And our next meeting, we will get the end of year quarterly report.
Yes, sir. That'll be on future topics.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Any discussion about putting that on the consent agenda?
No, I move that we add it to the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to put the monthly transparency report on the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the updates to Administrative Rules OS 13 and OS 13R, BOLEGS 2, Procurement and Purchasing. And we have Procurement and Purchasing in the house. Would you like to give us?
I think Kaylee's gonna.
Okay, he's going to do that. Okay.
If I may, just
Yes,
kind of introduce it, and
Please.
then I can turn it over to Kaylee, and Jennifer Hamlin is here as well, and I believe Reggie Murphy's on the line or will be with us as well. So if we have any tough questions, we'll make sure we've got it covered tonight. So, so recently the procurement code was approved, renewed by the board to align with the State Department of Education's new state procurement code for school districts. And so that was approved, I believe in June, and was effective as of July 1. As part of that procurement code, and I may be stealing Kaylee's thunder here, we are obligated to have a minority business enterprise utilization plan. So this agenda topic and the next one sort of go together. That plan must align with the new code, and the plan is also stated in OS 13R. So it's basically just, we lifted, copied, and pasted it into OS 13R. So we just need, so we are bringing OS 13 forward to align with changes of the dollar thresholds that are changing in the code. And then we are bringing OS 13.2 together, and that one is the copied and pasted utilization plan. So these are being brought forward for information only because they're administrative rules, which the full board will need to see as well. And then the plan actually requires a vote. So and then Kaylee, do you have any additional comments or?
Just that, in case you want to do some extra research on the side, it's section 5240 of the procurement code that lays out our minority women business enterprise utilization plan that is required now per our procurement code. And so the new plan, we went step by step down and included everything that the code required, which in then turn made us have to update the OSs. So that's pretty much it. And you do have an executive summary. So if you take the old regulations next to the new and you follow by bullet point, it shows everything that we updated line item by line item for your convenience.
Anything further?
Yes.
Dr. Claus, you have anything? Any comments on?
No, thank you. I do have a question, and I'm not sure whether it should be, Kaylee or Tanya. So I had the old procurement code and a paper copy of it, and it's thick. I mean, it's like more than an inch thick. And then there was like a separate, as I recall, 4-page kind of summary of the procurement code. Can you make a copy of this, a paper copy and of the new code, and is it just way too many sheets?
So the new, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm following you correctly. The new code is 106 pages. Our previous code was only 60 pages or 60, 70 pages.
Okay.
Now the state code is a lot thicker because it goes with the agency, but the model code's only 106 pages.
And that's what we're using is the model code?
Yes, we're using the model code and it's on our website. So if you go to the procurement page or if you go to working with the district, it's right there.
Perfect. And do we have a summary, not like this where it's a comparison, you have to have two things in front of you, but do we have a summary like we had an executive summary of the old one?
So what we have instead is the procurement purchasing policies and procedures, which is a condensed version of everything in the procurement code. It's like a user's manual and a guide that guides the bookkeepers from administrators to bookkeepers to end users on making sure they're staying within the
How about Dr. Claus?
No, not at this time.
I have one comment, and one of the, well, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us continue on with this plan. We'll go back to you
Okay.
with the other, if that's all right. one of the issues is certification. And that seems to be what has caused most of the problems. We have minority and women's businesses come to our different job fairs. But they're not certified by the state, is that correct?
That's correct.
We cannot get credit for having those people, be providing services. So I guess my question is, who is responsible for informing minority and women businesses about the requirement and give them assistance, if any? Does the Chambers of Commerce, you got the African, got Black Chamber of Commerce, we got the Beaufort Chamber of Commerce, do they have any role or mission to help get people certified for that? Do we know?
I'm gonna defer to Kayla because she has worked closely with a lot of those organizations and with our operations.
What do you think, Kaylee?
So we hold an annual event, and we were talking about moving it to a semi-annual event if possible, but COVID kind of messed that up a little bit. But working with the facilities office manager, Miss Brandy Majors, her and I have discussed this to length. So we've posted the information on our website under community and working with the district, how to become certified, where to reach out for certification, coming to the job fairs or the vendor fairs that we have in order to inform the vendors of the opportunities that we have up. We also send any of our solicitations and information to the Black Chamber of Commerce and the Beaufort Chamber of Commerce as well, to ensure that they're getting out to people who are registered with them, as well as South Carolina business opportunities. I can't speak as to why people don't get certified. What I can say is those that are certified do count towards the percentage that it's our goal. It's not a requirement, it's a goal. So showing that we're making that effort and moving toward it is supporting us in our goal. One of the biggest setbacks that we've had here in Beaufort is most of the certified vendors are near the Columbia, Charleston, and even Savannah area. We can't count the Savannah because they have to be registered and certified with the South Carolina office. The South Carolina Division of Small Minority Business Contracting and Certification has also adopted certification from South Carolina Department of Transportation. So that has kind of expanded our variety of certified vendors that we can use as well. But with those vendors being in different areas of the state, especially in Charleston and Columbia, getting them down here is very difficult to get them to do work because they have a plethora of work in the area that they're in. So giving them the information as much as we can, encouraging, that's what we've been able to do so far, but we are more than willing to take on more suggestions on how we can influence them even more to try and get certified and help them.
Maybe one other question. Do they have to be bonded and insured and have licenses to get certification?
I don't believe they have to be licensed, but I don't know if the certification panel checks their bonding and insurance, but I know that they do have to be a licensed business in order to become a certified minority women business enterprise business.
From what I hear, it's an extensive application process that and is invasive. A lot of questions about the financial statements of the organizations as well. So it's pretty extensive application process too.
I would recommend that Kaylee, you give a overview of that when we bring this up before the full board.
Yes, sir.
I think that's an important part of this plan. The things we have to go through to do this. Now, Mr. Smith is not here.
Stepped out again.
As far as for minority, we have went through this year after year, and we have had meetings, and we had Arthur Cummins, Stephen Green, and several other former organizations to help them. And nobody want to participate. The biggest thing I heard was nobody want to come up with a plan because they don't want to say FSL guys said contract, subcontractors said, I don't let you get into my business. And you can do this for years. So
I'm saying it's the prime contractor and subcontract. And do we get credit for the subcontractor?
sure.
If they're
If
certified.
they're certified.
If they're
If they're not certified,
You know,
you don't.
we don't get any credit for it, but they can work there,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
They can get the job, but we just don't have.
And even the MB have offered to help some of these.
Yes, yes.
You know, because I remember when they first came to Beaufort, they worked with a lady out of Savannah, and now today she's a general contractor. You know, but you have to know what you're doing, and you can't keep no secrets. You know, so that's the problem.
Tina's answer.
Pardon me?
Tina's answer.
Tina,
Yes. So Kaylee, besides a burdensome application for certification, what's the cost?
I don't know if there is much of a cost associated with getting the certification. I think it's a soft cost of the time it takes for these businesses to produce the documentation that they need to become certified.
Okay.
But I would like to elaborate on the previous comment that was made about uncertified and certified. We report both, and we require that our vendors, like our big contractors, MBCon, JE Dunn, but even ABM and HES and the nutrition group will require them too, that any subcontractors that they use, whether they're certified or not, minority, women, business, enterprise, they report it to us. We double check the certification and then show the goal meeting or our goal of what we are meeting for certified vendors, and then those that are not certified. Help support that, showing that we do have minority, women, business, enterprise. They just may lack the certification.
that's a very, very key point. And I hope that Tuesday night you make that point to the full board.
Will do.
Mr. Smith?
My question goes back to in regards to, so basically, are we saying that now we no longer allowed to advertise as in to make it attractive to minority businesses? Is that what the is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying in reference to the new state standard? Is that what it's saying?
No, sir. What the piece that we took out and put in, it basically says that we can't develop a solicitation specifically for minority, women, business, enterprises. And we spoke before when we were implementing this new procurement code, and there was a discussion of preferences. Now, there are preferences for state vendors or in products made in South Carolina, or those that have an office in the state, but we cannot give a minority, women, business, enterprise preference. And writing a solicitation, whether it be an RFP or an IFB or even a request for quotes that was specifically made or written only for minority, women, business, enterprise, would put that preference out there, and that would conflict with our current code.
Thank you. All right, we need a motion to recommend the full board approve the regulation OS 13-R OLEGS 2 procurement and purchasing minority woman business enterprise utilization plan.
So moved, Chairman.
So moved by Mr. Campbell,
And I'll second.
by Dr. Ross. Are there any other discussion? Not, the hearing done. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Things around here. The next item is future topics. Do you have, Dr. Gross, do you have any future topics?
Not at this time, thank you.
No, it's section,
Okay.
the one that you have.
Yes. I would like to ask the staff to do two pieces of business before January. I'm in a, it's kind of a statement to the full board in my report on Tuesday night. And that request is to do a cost benefit analysis of two contracts. First contract being the bus drivers. What is the cost and what is the benefit of having bus drivers under the district versus a contract that the contractor has responsibility for hiring and procuring drivers? That's number one. Number two is a cost benefit analysis of custodial staff. You now contract custodial staff. What is the cost benefit of having custodial staff under the district, like the bus drivers are now? So there's two different cost benefit analysis. And we would need that for the full board by at least January, because it would have budget implications for the following year. Discussion?
I'm fine with that.
Dr. Glaus?
No, I support those topics.
Mr. Smith?
My only question would be, and when you said custodial staff, I mean, what was your, what was it again about custodial staff?
To look at the cost benefit of having the custodians instead of being under, what is it?
That company, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Instead of them being under that contractor, the custodial staff would become employees of the district.
Right, right. Well, I'm thinking, but the bus drivers are the bus drivers are bundles, and I believe they changed that y'all should have that information actually. Should you have that information, Ms. Crosby?
For the bus drivers?
Yes, because prior to them changing it to when I believe when Dr. Moss and McClure was here, they were currently up under someone, and they made that change within a matter of.
There was a cost benefit analysis
Right,
before the
before.
change was made for bus drivers, yes.
Right, so
It would
that,
have to be updated with current inflation numbers and those sorts of things, yeah.
right, but y'all do have that one. Y'all do have that currently, don't y'all?
My predecessor prepared that, so I don't know, don't know where it is, but we can certainly create a new cost benefit analysis for both of the services.
I gather that, but my point is, I'm sure that's a legal document somewhere within the district that we should be able to put our hands on. And my asking is, along with Mr. Geyer asking the board on that, my ask is that you also would forward the past analysis to the board prior to the board meeting. We'd just like to see what that looked like as well. That's all.
You know, that should be part of the cost benefit analysis. There should be a comparison of the previous decision
Right.
versus what the facts are today.
Right.
And that should be part of the analysis. And so, you know.
I guess we can wait for that.
Yeah.
That's fine with that.
Okay. Any other problems? So I'll go ahead in the report. I will mention that that is something that we're looking at for a future agenda topic. And if the full board has any guidance to give us before we bring that up formally. So this is not a formal tasking. We can't task the staff to do that. The full board has to do it. So, but I want to get some feedback from the full board before we actually get the tasking done. Okay? That makes sense. Okay,
Have
yes,
2 items for future
Yes.
topics. A preliminary fourth quarter financial report for fiscal year 22, ended 2022. It will be a summary, just sort of with some estimated items. And the minority business enterprise report for the period from January 1, 22 to June 30, 22. And that will be under the old procurement code regulations, so it will not follow the current ones that we've been talking about.
when are we going to get the next audit?
The audit is due December 1st,
Okay.
so it will be around in December.
Okay, that, right, that's.
The
but
final audited financial
Right,
statements.
but we don't have to authorize that or anything, because we have an extension for the audit firm, is that right?
We are under I believe, a 5-year contract with the current audit firm, and we're in year 3, I believe.
Okay, so we don't have to go through that.
We don't have to go through any approvals of that, but this will provide a preliminary look at things with some estimates of the final numbers,
Right,
and then we'll come back with the final numbers in December.
Mr. Smith?
Also, a breakdown of when the board give out, when we say percents of 2% or 5%, in terms of finances as in raises to bus drivers or uncertified staff or certified staff, I would like to understand more of, what does that look like? Whether that's a 1 cent, 2 cent, and who really has to get those things? Where would that go?
I think that would be the purview of the operations committee.
Okay.
We look at the big dollars, but we don't look at the specifics.
So the specifics.
Yeah.
And how about, we can get a finance too, about how much that have cost us within the last, go around too, I guess we can get that from operations too, giving out those, what it costs us. For in those percentiles of how much and the raises, how many within the raises, how much have we given out to teachers or versus support staff, or certified versus non-certified?
That would
What
have been
that cost us?
included in the budget that we provided the information back when we were doing the budget discussions.
Right.
We had lists of what the different categories of employees would receive and the dollar amount supporting. So those PowerPoint presentations and the documents attached should be all in Word doc.
But also I want to know, as in a whole, as in certified staff, uncertified staff, what's the cost? So what's the difference between that? Is that what you're saying is in there as well?
Yes, those PowerPoint presentations I did through in I believe April 22nd was our first work session. And so every budget presentation from then till the approval on May 3rd, I believe, would have had that information. And that would be in board docs.
In board docs and PowerPoint.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. I
It's
appreciate that.
also,
Okay. Any other comments? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, everyone.